What's going on, Ronnie? Thank you for tapping in, bro. Just chilling, man. Waiting for people to get in here before I just start talking. I really want to just talk some boxing today. That's it. Or any topics anybody else want to talk about. You feel me? Let me shut this damn screen door, man. How's everybody doing today? It's a beautiful day out here in Georgia. Breezy, nice and sunny. You know, we get a lot of information from the sun, so beautiful thing. But what's up though, man? Let's rap about it. Let's talk about it. Let's speak about it. So really, I was talking about boxing earlier. So I made a video about the fight that's coming up this weekend with Caleb Plant versus Resendez and Charlo versus Lamana. And you know, and I go watch my channel, go watch my video, leave a comment, like and subscribe if it's something that resonates with your spirit. Caleb Plant is going to beat Resendez, and Charlo is going to beat Lamana. I think Caleb Plant. I think that fight goes the distance. I think that if it does, a stoppage does happen. What's up now? If it does happen, it happens between the 9th and 12th round. Charlo, I think he stops Lamana, and between the 7th and 10th round. As I was speaking before, listen, man, I think that Caleb Plant isn't that good at all, and I think they're pushing a narrative for Plant and a Charlo fight mid next year sometime. Probably about the summer, probably about the same time next year. Caleb Plant, in my opinion, is just not very good. He's just not very good. As I said in my video, I think he has the complexion for the protection. You know, anytime you get a fighter that has that type of complexion, they're gonna push because it's not the norm. We all know boxing styles make fights, and they put people in front of Plant and Charlo for them to be successful, and for us as the public to buy the next fight. I think that they're both C+ fighters, in my opinion. C+ at the best, and I think that they're nothing more than that. Again, you know, boxing is one of those sports that's they'll push a narrative because they have to get a return on their investment. Yeah, appreciate you. Tattoos, feel me? Appreciate you. Yeah, you know, everybody's tattoos mean something. Mine do too. I don't get a tattoo without it meaning something. Each one of these tattoos are original. They come from my brain, and they mean something to me. It is what it is. You know, you're talking about this weed tattoo, I feel like, and it's cool. It's a weed leaf, and that means more than just the typical weed. So we all know that weed is a plant, and we know that it's medicinal. In other words, it helps heal you. Oh, so the diamond one. Wow, y'all can see the diamond one right there? Yeah, so the diamond one means... So we all know that diamond is the hardest source, the hardest substance on earth. Diamond, right? They use diamond to cut everything, even granite. So diamond means that... Now, I put... And if you notice it, it's right on my temple. And the reason why I put it there is because my mind is hard to break. My mind isn't the average mind. I'm not led easily by the things that is presented to me in this world that we live in. So that's why I got the diamond. So that's what that means. So yeah, that was a good look. I didn't know you saw that. Yeah, but yeah, that's what that means. That's why the diamond's on my temple, because my mind is hard to break. That's what that means. That's a good question though. I appreciate you asking that. Yeah, man, y'all can interact with me. I'll chop it up with everybody on the line. I mean, on the chat. But back to boxing though. The boxing next week. Caleb Plant versus Resendez. Charlo versus LaManna. Uh, I'll speak a little bit about um, the Canelo and Crawford fight coming up. That I'll make a separate video about that, but I'll speak on it a little bit. Uh, I think that fight is going to go the distance. Nobody gets stopped in that fight. Canelo's a tough fighter, a skilled fighter, but Crawford's much better. How many do I have? I don't, bro. I lost count, bro. I got them all over my body, all over my upper body. I don't have any on my lower body. Man, I don't. I lost count, bro. To be real with you, and I probably got tattoos I forgot about. To be honest with you, on my back and stuff. So, I don't know. So I can't really answer that question. Over 40 individual tattoos. I got over 40 individual tattoos. I know that for a fact. I stopped counting after 40. Yeah. Yeah, but nobody talks about this one in the middle. Y'all see that? So nobody talks about that one. Nobody mentions that. I'm surprised. But that's the eye of Horus. That's the third eye, quote unquote. That's why I got that there, because I say, you know what, I don't see. I see everybody getting crosses and certain things, but you know what, I ain't never seen anybody with this between their eyes. Well, unless you want to talk about the Stargate TV series, he had something similar to that. If you go back and look at the TV series, Stargate TV series, he had something similar to that, but it wasn't a tattoo. But that's why I got that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as far as boxing is concerned, Canelo and Crawford is going to be a good fight. I think Canelo beats Crawford. Excuse me. I think Crawford beats Canelo in a unanimous decision. Maybe a split decision, because the judges are going to be biased, depending upon what they want to look at. But I think that Crawford's going to beat Canelo because of skill factor. I think that's what happens. So a spiritual infamy, how you say that word? Epiphany, a spiritual epiphany. I have those every day, to be honest with you. I have those every day. I have a spiritual epiphany every single day of my life. There's not a day that goes by that I don't have that. Because I don't close myself off to knowledge. I don't close myself off to information. I'm constantly thinking that I can learn something. So the third eye represents the inner eye that's open, but people can't see that it's open. They think it's closed. So when you're sleeping, information comes to you. When you're walking down the street or driving in your car, information comes to you unbeknownst, like it just comes to you. So that's what that represents. So I wouldn't say it was an epiphany. I would just say it's something that I deal with every day. So that's why I got it. I spoke about this on a live. I probably need to make a story about it. But I pretended that I couldn't talk. I pretended to be mute until I was almost 5 years old, but I could talk. And I was just speaking about my wife speaking to my wife about this the other day. I was like, well, if I pretended I couldn't talk and I didn't talk to my family, who taught me to talk, and how did I learn to talk? Because when I started talking, it was normal. I could talk, I just didn't talk until they took me to the doctor. And then because, I knew that, are you going to take medicine? And blah, blah. I ain't taking no medicine. I don't want no shots. I don't want no cough syrup. I don't want to swallow no pills. So on the way to the doctor, I'm like, I'm going to talk. And I did. And that was that. My family was shocked. They didn't know I could talk because I just pointed at stuff and shook my head, yes or no. But I could talk. And I question it now, who taught me to talk? I mean, obviously, my parent taught me to talk and my auntie and stuff, but I didn't talk. But when I started talking, I was talking normal. So that's just one of those things. So I wouldn't say it was an epiphany. It was just something in my everyday life that want me to get these tattoos. Now, these tattoos on my face didn't happen until the past 5 years because I had a good job, so I knew that I didn't have to worry about um yes and no. Yes and no. Excuse me. I got so yes and no to answer your question. To be fair, I forget about them because just like anything in life, you well, first of all, I can never forget. That's one. So give me just a second. I'll answer your question. Give me just a second, please. I'm sorry. I'm back. You probably left. So to answer your question, so it's like anything else in life. You have remembrance. You know, you forget things, then it comes back to you. So the tattoos, all I have to do is look in the mirror, and then I can remember exactly why I got the tattoos and bring myself back or anybody else who asks a question on why I got the tattoo and what the meaning behind it was. So no, I wouldn't say that I'm forgetting tattoos. Is that meaning that I'm forgetting a pivotal part of my life? No, I would disagree. I would just say I just don't look at it every day. You know, it's like, can you remember every birthday party you had, right? Or every time you got angry, or every fist fight you had, or every time somebody hurt your feelings. We don't remember those things right now, but then there's certain things that remind us of that, a certain sound, a certain smell, right? So that's what I mean. But yeah, no, I don't think that it means I forgot a pivotal part of my life because I remember every day of my life since I was 3 months old, believe it or not. But that's a good question, though. Thank you for asking it. And I would welcome any more questions, and I would welcome anything else that somebody has to say. So no, I know who I am, and I know what I was, and I know what I've always been. It'll just remind me of what I was thinking, where I was at that particular moment in time when I would look at a tattoo and it reminds me. But again, like we look in the mirror, we don't always look at back of us to see what's back there. So yeah, I mean, I can say yes, I know what's back there, but again, I have so many that I may forget what's back there. So if somebody asks me, what's that mean? What are you talking about? Then I have to look at it and know, okay, it means this. So yeah, so it's not about what I were. I am who I was now today. I'm just a better version of it, if that makes sense. So yeah, yeah. Um, every tattoo means something to everybody, I would hope. And each one of these means something. Like the teardrops in my face. There's 3 of them. And I'll explain what they mean. I'm not a murderer. I never killed anybody. Thank God. Thank God that I never killed anybody. Uh, but the 3 tattoos mean, one is for being born. The second one is for having to live on this earth. The third one is for my mother passing. So that's the 3. One for being born, one for living on this earth, and one for my mother passing. That's what that means to me. But I would want everybody who's there's only 2 of y'all right now on the panel. Excuse me, not on the panel, in the chat. If you haven't already subscribed, I welcome you to go to my channel, check out some of the videos, check out some of my shorts. If you find something that resonates with you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It don't cost nothing, just a little bit of time. That's all. And you're gonna find it all biz. How did you do it? Must be crushing. What do you mean? Plankton. What do you mean? What's crushing, bro? Be specific, because I don't understand what you're asking me. How did I do it? It must be crushing. I mean, I'm not really understanding what you mean, but I would assume you're talking about everyday life. Life isn't crushing. Life is beautiful. And it took me 40 years to understand that life is beautiful. You know, the human experience, a lot of people don't go through human experience. And what do I mean by that? Some people don't know what it is to be hurt. Some people don't know what it is to be loved. Some people don't know what it is to have lost love. Some people do not know what it means to succeed and fail. All that is the human experience, and that is a beautiful thing. Losing your mother, okay. It destroyed me, bro, for a minute. Losing my mom to a disease that she brought on herself makes it even worse. Yeah, it was troubling. It wasn't crushing though, and I said destroyed just a minute ago. It was hurtful. But my mother and I didn't have the best relationship, man. You know, that's a story into itself of how I came up. I mean, I was mixed. I'm mixed. My mother's white. My father's black. I have two siblings. They're both Caucasian, and they didn't grow up with me. My brother, second up under me, grew up with my auntie, which he thought was going on stories with a purpose. My brother grew up with my auntie, which he thought was his mother until he was the age of 12. So he thought I was his cousin. And I had to, because of my awareness, I had my mom and auntie that I wasn't allowed to tell my brother that he was my brother. So until he was the age of 12 years old, and I'm 2.5 years older than him, he thought I was his cousin, and I knew he was my brother, but I had to pretend that he was just my cousin. And we have a sister who grew up with her grandmother, which they have the same father, my brother and sister. But my brother grew up with my auntie, which he thought was his mother. My sister grew up with her grandmother, which he knew was his sister, but she didn't know that I was her cousin. Yeah, terrible story. It is what it is. So we didn't have the greatest relationship because like I said, my awareness comes from another place, another realm, right? I can't answer that. Yeah, I can't answer y'all that. But that's a true story. Well, I would say, you know what? It's funny. Later in life, I felt that my mother made sure they had a better upbringing than me. That's how I felt about it. That's how I felt. I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up on welfare. I grew up on food stamps. I grew up being hungry. No, you're good, man. I'm not tripping. This is something that needs to get out. Maybe this will bring more people to my channel. May bring more people to listen to the videos and the message that I have. If you go on my channel, you'll see what I be talking about. So maybe this just bring more people if they hear the true story about all-biz and the struggles that we all go through. So I'm nothing special. We all go through struggles. So maybe this just helps people understand who all-biz is. And maybe why I talk about the things I talk about. Again, like I said, I have two siblings. They're both Caucasian. My mother is white. I am black. My father is black, and I grew up that way. I grew up thinking that way. That's on my birth certificate. I was signed in school like that. I signed even on my driver's license is that. I'm that. And that's how it's always been. Again, I feel like my mother, and I could be, now we talked about it, but you know, that's a whole nother topic. But I think she, in my opinion, assured that they were okay. In my opinion, they didn't go through what I went through. They weren't hungry like I was hungry. And what I mean by hungry, there's a depth to being hungry. You know, you could say you're hungry and you can go into the refrigerator and make you a sandwich or eat a bowl of cereal or go, you know, your parents might take you to McDonald's and buy you something to eat. But I'm talking about I was hungry, man. You know, there's nothing in the refrigerator. There's nothing in the cabinets. That's being hungry. The only meal I get is when I go to school. That's when I get my hunger cured. It's when I go to school. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. If you drink too much water, it will make you throw up. Yeah, water poisoning is a real thing. A lot of people don't know that. If you drink too much water, you will throw up. Yeah, that type of hunger, to where you're so hungry that when you drink water, it makes you throw up. Yes, exactly. That type of hungry, where you're so hungry that you can't even eat at that point. You have to let your body, they have to give you an IV or something. Yeah, that type of hunger. That's what I had to experience. And I'm not looking for sympathy, because there's 8 million stories out there just like mine. I just want people to understand who All Biz is and what I mean to the world. Because I love all y'all. What's up, Mark? What's good? I don't even know that's you. Hold on, let me check and see if that's you, because I do not want to play with people. Nah, I don't think that's you, Mark. That ain't you, bro. If that's you, let me know that's you, bro. Otherwise, I'm not going to talk to you, whoever you is trying to pretend to be Mark. I don't play games like that, so let's stop. Okay, that might be you then. Hold on, let me look. Okay, that's you. What's going on, Mark? All right, that's what's up, brother. Hope all the way with you. Glad to see you came out of it. That's what's up, Brody. That's what's up, broski. Glad you came out of it, bro. I told you. You already knew that God is good, bro. I mean, you know what? Listen. What I'm going to tell you is this. Life is brutal. This world that we live in is brutal. And if you believe in the Bible, you just said Jesus. So if you believe in the Bible, then you know that God kicked out the devil and cast him down to here. This is the devil's realm. And we wonder why shit is so fucked. Excuse me. Things are so awful. Well, this is the devil's land. This is where he dwells. This is where the demons walk. So those of us who don't choose to indulge in those type of activities are gonna always catch it, right? So the brutality of life that I had to face just made me strong here, which is why I got the diamond here. That's all. That's why I got it. To promote, I can't be broke. I'm unbreakable mentally. Do what you want to my body. You can't break me here. You can't. So that's what that means. But that's a good question, man. I appreciate y'all up here on the chat. Anything y'all want to ask, come on. No, my mind didn't break. I didn't go crazy. Now, that's not to say I haven't done devilish things in my life. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I haven't done devilish things in my life. But I couldn't continue to do devilish things because of my walk with God. I couldn't continue. God does not allow me to continue to indulge in devilish acts, because he will punish me immediately. Appreciate that, Mark. It's only 4 y'all in here. It's 4 likes. I appreciate it. But those who are here, if you haven't subscribed, go subscribe. I would appreciate it. But yeah, for a long time I harbored bad feelings for my mom, because I felt like she kept me. Like I said, my brother and sister didn't grow up in the ghetto like I did. They didn't struggle like I did. They weren't hungry like I was hungry. And so for a long time I blamed her. And there was a period of I left home at 15 years old, by the way. And I was on my own. I went and stayed with a girl. She was 18. She had just graduated. Her parents had a little bit of money, so she had an apartment and all that. So I was living with her. Well, that didn't turn out too well. So I've been on my own since I was 15. So I was about probably 36, 37 when I realized that, wait a minute, I'm 37 years old and I'm still blaming on my mother. I've been an adult. I've been on my own a lot longer than my mother raised me. So who can I really blame for the the hardships that I was facing. Really? Who could I blame? I can't blame her. I've been on my own since I was 15. I'm 37 now. How can I keep blaming a woman? How can I keep blaming a woman whose house I haven't been in 17 years? So I stopped that. Here comes the train, y'all. So y'all gonna have to deal with this noise for a second. So I stopped blaming her and I started taking accountability for all my choices. And then it should never be about blame. It should always be about lessons and learning and compassion. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Give me just a second, y'all. All right, Mark, that's what's up, bro. Yeah, just like Mark said, it's free to subscribe to me. Appreciate that. Stories with a purpose. Appreciate it. You know, I stay in this country where they dang on trains at. God dog, how long is this train? 3 miles? I done lost a little bit of the crowd. God dog it. I think y'all can hear me a little bit, but yeah, it's never about blaming because we all have choices to make, and I've been making my own choices, like I said, since I've been 3 months old, honestly. So I can't blame anyone for my actions and for how my life has turned out. I swear it's a long train. Golly. Yes, I was angry for a long time. I was angry for, and probably still deal with that a little bit. Yeah, I probably still deal with anger issues a little bit because of it. Because sometimes I want this train to pass by because I really want to get this message out. And I don't want anybody to misconstrue what I'm saying. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. All right, it just went by. So, I'll say it again. So now, doggone it, thank the heavens that train that went by. All right, so here's what it is. Yes, I was angry for a long time. It took me a long time to get over my anger. And as I just said a minute ago, sometimes I still deal with it. And so, you know, and I can't make no excuses about it. I know that my anger stems from childhood trauma. I know it does. And I still have to deal with that. We're not perfect. And you know, I'll sit back and self-reflect about a lot of things. So yes, sadness is the catapult towards anger. And so it took me a long time. So I'm not so much as angry as I used to be about life. I get angry when someone I feel is disrespecting me. That's something I still have to deal with because who am I? I'm nothing special. But I was angry because I used to say, and I was sad and angry because I used to say, why me? And then I started developing better mental skills and I started saying, why not you? So it went from why me to not why not you, right? If we believe in the Bible, oh, and if you don't believe in the Bible, you can still take something from it. They crucified what some people consider God. Threw rocks at him, tortured him, beat him to a bloody mess. So if they could do that to the quote unquote God, who am I to think I'm so special? And so that started having me to think like, bro, why are you so angry? Right? And then, I'm into Stoicism. I read a lot of philosophy and philosophers. And there's one saying that says, what makes you think what makes you think the world cares about your anger? And that made me start thinking. So once you understand that the world doesn't care about your anger, you don't tend to be as angry as much. Because nobody cares. Really. The world doesn't care about your anger. I mean, that's just reality. Hate and love, they're intertwined. I think that I think that that's true. Um, and I think that goes into lines of saying this, that you have to take criticism and compliments one and the same. That's the same as hate and love. You don't put any credence into someone who gives you a compliment, no more credence than you put somebody who gives you criticism. Because they both mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. They really don't. That's our ego and pride that feels hate and love. Criticism and compliments. That's our pride and ego. Because they don't exist. Yeah. That's definitely you. You. Like I said, if you go back and look at one of my shorts, I wrote a little poem. I like to write little poems. I'm not saying I'm great at it, but I like to write little poems. And and if you read the poem, basically the outcome is the enemy is inside of you. Everything that you fear, everything that you love, everything that you hate, everything that you disagree with, everything that you agree with, is really inside of you. It's really inside of you, right? We determine our life. We're the writer. We're the publisher. We control the narrative. The ocean is yours to swim in and become and to search and explore. Get down, y'all. Get down. Y'all see my pups? Y'all get down, move. So once I began to understand that, my life's a little bit easier, a little bit better. So I'm not as angry about my childhood. And really, I've been doing a lot of self-reflecting on my childhood, and I have no reason to be angry about it because it developed my mind. Can we question ourselves without self-deprivation? No, we cannot. I think that's one in the same. You have to. You have to. You have to. You have to do that. I think that's important with the growth and development of the human mind. You have to do that. Get off me. Bite me. You have to do that. That's very important because only you know you, right? And I'm gonna say this: no one lies to you more than yourself, and you don't lie to anybody more than you do yourself, and that is facts. I'll say that again: no one lies to you more than yourself, and you don't lie to anybody more than you do yourself. Think about that for a moment. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it short about what I just said, because that's facts. Yeah, I mean, once we understand that, then we're able to grow in life. and we don't take it as serious. Again, you know, I'm not perfect. I still have my little anger issues when it comes to respect, but again, that's ego and pride, and I'm gonna deal with it. That's something I have to work on. Not perfect, but at least I can admit that, and because I've came to the conclusion of that, I can get over that and I can work on it, right? But at the same time, I can't keep making excuses about why I do certain things. Telling ourselves what truly is. Yeah, I think that's very important. You know, we lie to ourselves. Like I said, we lie to ourselves we lie to ourselves more than anybody else does. Every day we lie to ourselves. Every single day. Each one of us watching this right now have lied to ourselves today, probably 3, 4, 5 times. I'm just keeping it real, including myself. Like me, I need to get up. I need to cut my yard. I lied to myself 3 or 4 times today about cutting it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm just saying. I said I was gonna do it today. I ain't did it yet. Need to cut my darn yard. So I know I've lied to myself 3 or 4 times already, and I know y'all have too. Whether you admit it or not, that's facts. And I'm not calling nobody out. I'm just saying. All right, you take care, Plankton. It's good talking to you, man. You had some good questions. Come back and holler at me again. Hope you subscribe to my channel. But yeah, like I said, man, I can't blame anybody for my life, how it ended up, the hurt and let's talk about hurt for a second, especially males, us, or I'll just speak on me. Every time I've been hurt is because I had a false perception and expectations of the other person. Those are facts. Well, you know what? Fool. You're right, except for the fact that's our imagination, right? And imagination can be good, but it could also be a detriment to us. Imagination, right? Same as the future and the past. Those are just a figmentation of our imagination. The future and the past are just figmentations of our imagination. See why? Because the past has already happened and the future hasn't happened yet. And most of us live in either one of those two places, which means it's just our imagination. And that is not good for the human brain. We must live in the present. And I'm not preaching to you. I'm speaking to you because I deal with that too. I deal with that too. So again, I'm not preaching to you. I'm just speaking to you. I deal with that too. And once we overcome our imagination, that's when we truly begin to live life. When we're living in the moment, when we're living in the present, right? Now that conflicts with if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. That conflicts with that statement. But that statement is true, but it conflicts with it. However, if you live in the moment, meaning I'm going to build this brick house, and you stay in the moment, then tomorrow becomes a better place, right? But if we say, well, I didn't put that brick in the right place, I didn't put enough mortar in it, so it's not going to stick. Well, then we're living in the past, right? And we're not living in the moment. However, because we understand yesterday, and because we understand what tomorrow could be, that makes now better, if that makes sense. So that's something just to think about. That's just something to think about. But yeah, Plankton got me on some deep stuff. I was talking about boxing. He flipped the script on me, and I was talking about my life with my mom, my relationship with her, and my relationship with people. But again, you, the two people watching, you and me, are responsible for our happiness, and nobody else is. Only you are responsible for your happiness, and I'm only responsible for my happiness. And what happens is the only time I've ever been hurt is because of my expectations of what I felt somebody else should be. And that's real. Now, I've gotten away from that in the past 10 years or so. I've gotten away from that. I'm 52 now. No, not the past 10. I'll say the last 6. I've gotten away from that. And begin to understand that my happiness is my responsibility and nobody else's. Nobody else's. I can't rely on my wife to make me happy. I have to be happy. And that means if I'm in a situation, if I'm under circumstances that cause a situation to arise where I feel unhappy, I have a choice to make at that point. And that's the only freedom we have. I made a video about freedom and choices earlier. That's the only true freedom and choices we have is here in this brain of ours. And even those can be influenced by outside sources. The weather, sounds, right? So basically, I'm saying expect a person to be who you are and not to ever see them in a different light. Maybe they can do better, will be a different person. People can always change, right? So I'll be specific. Never, ever see a person. Okay, see them as who they are, right? And I began to understand that some years back. And I'll give you an illustration. And I'm gonna ask this question to the two people watching right now. Who would you trust more? A thief or a person who's never been in trouble? The two people watching, go ahead and put that in the chat for me right now. Who do you trust more? A thief or a person who's never been in trouble? Well, I'll give you my answer while y'all mull that over. I'm gonna trust the thief before I trust a person who's never been in trouble. The person who's never been in trouble, I don't know what you're capable of. I know what a thief's gonna do. So guess what? I'm not inviting you into my house so you can steal my stuff. And if I do invite you in my house, I'm not leaving you unsighted. No, I don't agree. No. I'm trusting the thief first. Here's why. I know what the thief's about. So I'm not gonna leave the thief unattended. Because I know the thief's a thief, they're liable to steal something. The person who I don't know anything about, you can't trust them. You don't know if they're a sexual deviant. You don't know if they're a serial killer. You don't know if they have murderous intentions. You don't know anything about that person. So you have to be wary of them. And I'm just saying. Just like there's an African proverb. Well, it's not even a proverb. There's an African tradition where they don't shake hands with strangers. That's something that's a European. When I say European, I shouldn't have said that. That's a colonialism act. The reason why there's an African tradition where they don't shake hands is because if I shake your hand, I'm now at your whim. You can grab my hand and do it as you will to me if you have bad intentions. You gotta think about it. You gotta think about that for a second. No, okay, so I already answered that question. So we have to be skeptics when we're meeting new people, right? And we have to be skeptical when meeting new people because you don't know what their intentions are. So that's why I'm gonna trust the thief more. I know what he's about, he or she. I know what they're about. I have to be wary of the person I don't know nothing about because I don't know what your intentions are. I don't know what you're capable of. I don't know if your heart's filled with good or evil. And they're both one and the same. So think about that for a second. Right? So I'm a skeptic at heart, I think. And I think that has a lot to do with what I've seen in my life. I've seen just as much good as I have bad, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to sit here and say I only saw evil in my life. That would be incorrect. But what I'm saying is, evil, you know how to deal with better than you do somebody who's pretending to be good and their intent is evil. Think about that for a second. Think about it. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an illustration. Let's take a dog, for instance. A dog that you might walk down the street and the dog is snarling, he's showing his teeth, he's barking at you. In our heart, in our human intuition, gonna tell us that dog might bite. I don't need to walk down that street. But now a dog who's just standing there, just looking at you. And yeah, you can learn language, the tail's up, the tail could be wagging, and the dog's not barking, the dog's not snarling, the dog's not showing its teeth or nothing, and you go to pet the dog and the dog bites the hell out your hand. That's what I'm talking about. I can trust evil more than I can trust good, because I don't know what good intentions are for real. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Yeah. And that's what we have to be fair. That's what we have to be careful of. And you know, that just leads me into what is a monster. A monster isn't what Jason looks like, Friday 13th. A monster isn't what Freddy the Krueger looks like. A monster isn't Michael Myers. Those are made up monsters. The monsters in real life look like Ted Bundy. They look like the next door neighbor with a smile, a friendly smile, a friendly gesture. Those are the real monsters. So that's why I can trust a thief more than I can a person who's never been in trouble before. Now, and you know, and we all, you know, the two people up here can say, we've seen police officers be good and evil, correct? Can you trust all police officers? And they're supposed to be coming in the act of good. And they're supposed to be coming in the act of kindness. We can't trust them completely either. That's what I'm saying, why I said what I said. And life's taught me that. Life's taught me that. Again, I pretended I couldn't talk till I was almost 5. But I could talk, and I had plenty of sense. Like I said, I've been conscious since I was 3 months old. How do I know that, you might ask? Well, because I told stories to my mom, and she said she couldn't believe it. Well, how could you know that? You were only 3 months old. I'm like, Mom, I just told you the story, didn't I? And this is how I know that we make choices when we're babies. The story that got her to understand who I was as a baby, once I started talking to her. Now, I didn't tell her this story until I was probably 33, 34 years old when I told my mother this story about that she would put me in her lap and read to me, and I was a baby. I'm talking about still in diapers. And I used to reach up and pull her hair. And that went on for a few days, maybe a week or so. And then she finally got upset with me one day and said, "You pull my hair again, Willie, I'm going to pull your hair back." And I distinctly remember reaching up there and pulling it anyway. And she pulled my hair back. And she pulled it back. And I never did it again. What's up, Huntsville? What's up, Bigville Roll Tide? I never did it again after she did that. But I understood what she was saying. She said, "There's no way you could understood that." I'm like, "Mama, I just told you the story." She said, "You couldn't have. You was only 5 months old. You couldn't have told me that." I said, "Mama, who told me that story? Did you tell me that story? I just told you, right?" And she just looked at me. So, like I said, I've had conscience. What's up, JG? What's up, y'all? Hit that like button as y'all come in for me. Do me that favor, y'all. So yeah. So, like I said, I've had conscience ever since I was 3 months old. 3 months. With sense and with knowledge. So I think our being appreciate that, Big Vil. On our beings as what we call human beings on this planet isn't what they tell us. Every one of y'all watching right now can remember back then if you just search your mind. It probably comes to you in dreams and you probably just overlook it. I mean, I dream every night. I dream in color. I dream in hot, cold, rain, snow. That's how my dreams work. And I make sure I pay attention to my dreams. Like I said, I dream numbers and all, but I can't play them. I can't get rich off it. But I can pass the message on, though. And I know that's my purpose in this world. Feel what I'm saying? And if each and every one of you search yourself, you'll start remembering things you didn't think you could remember. If each one of you search yourself. But yeah, enough with the serious talk. Let's talk some boxing or something. Come on with some questions, y'all, in the panel. Excuse me, in the chat. Talk to me. It's a beautiful day outside today, man. I'm in Georgia, middle Georgia, I guess you can call it. And it's perfect. I'm talking about, listen, it's May. It's almost, March, April. Yeah, it's May going into June. And it's cool. It's not even like burning up. I'm confused by that. I'm like, the weather done changed. Weather done changed, man. But yeah, my relationship with my mother wasn't. It was rocky. Uh, I blamed her for a lot of things until I got into my 30s, and I started realizing that my decisions were mine, my choices were mine, and things started changing. Um, I I witnessed my first murder when I was 5 years old. Yeah, I witnessed my first. I was there when it happened, and so I guess I became. No, no, no. Next weekend, Caleb Plant is fighting, and so is Jamel Charlo next week. I did a preview and my thoughts on what would happen on my channel. You go to my channel, you'll see what I said about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the biggest fight until Crawford and Canelo, which I'm gonna do a video on what I think is gonna happen in that fight. I'll do a detailed video on techniques and how they hold their balance, and who I think's gonna win and how I think they're gonna win. I'll do that probably Monday or Tuesday. I'll put that out because I'm gonna do some research on it. I'm gonna really study, which I already know, but I'm gonna study again just so I can put a little bit more details into it. Yeah, yeah. Go check that out, Big Bill. Go check out my video on what I think about the Caleb Plant and Charlo fight coming up next weekend coming up. Um, but yeah, September 3rd. That's September 13th. That's the big fight. I'm ready for it. Yeah, fool. That's a good distinction you just said. Yeah, they definitely have the blueprint on how to beat Canelo. And if you notice, Canelo hasn't fought a fighter like that since then. Even though they want to push the narrative that he's been fighting everybody, which on paper it does look like that. But he's staying away from certain fighters for sure because a skilled fighter is going to beat him, and Crawford is going to make. That's going to be Canelo's last fight. He's going to retire after that fight. I'm willing. I'm willing to bet Canelo retires after that September 13th fight against Crawford. I think he retires after that. Yeah, because the blueprint's out there, but the fighters have to be out there. You feel me? And he's staying clear of certain fighters. I believe Benavidez can beat Canelo. He knew to stay away from him. He knew to stay away from him. That's just my opinion on that. If you stand in front of Canelo, you have no chance. You got to be able to move. You got to be able... Man, hey, fool, go watch my video that I just made on Caleb Plant fighting Resendez and Charlo fighting LaManna. Go listen to what I'm saying. So, yeah, you can't stand in front of certain fighters, man. You have to be able to move your head one, feet second, shoulders third, and you got to be able to use angles fourth. And if you don't do any of those things, Canelo will beat you. No. Crawford, no. Crawford fights nothing like Floyd, but I think Fool is talking about the intelligence level of Crawford, the intelligence of Floyd, right? Crawford fights nothing like Floyd. Floyd stands still. But however, though, JG, if you go back and look at Pretty Boy Floyd, Crawford fights similar to Pretty Boy Floyd, with the exception of being able to switch left and right. But Crawford fights like Pretty Boy Floyd fought until he became Money Mayweather. Go back and check it out. So I would agree and disagree at the same time. But yeah, no, Crawford doesn't fight anything like Floyd Mayweather. No, for sure, 100%. But he fights like the young Floyd, the young Pretty Boy Floyd. He does. Yeah, he needs that rematch, bro. Tank needs to have the rematch against Roach because there was a lot of questions unanswered and that arose because of that fight. I didn't think that fight should have been a draw to me. Honestly, I don't think Tank won that fight. I think that fight was a draw, and a lot of the people that know feel like that fight was a draw, which is why you think they're doing a rematch. And JG, and that's what Bud is, a slick, aggressive counter puncher that can switch both ways. And if you go watch that fight against Matt, I can't even say that motherfucker's name, man. It starts with an M and it ends with a V. Crawford started out slow in that fight because he needed to figure out what that Russian dude was doing, and he eventually did. So Bud by nature is a counterpuncher. You feel me? That's me cooking that food. What you talking about? And I'm married already, JG. That's me to cook that food. That ain't her. That's me. I'm the one doing that cooking like that. What you see? That's me. But I'm married to her though already. I'm married again. That's my second wife. I'm married. Yeah. But don't make no mistake, JG. That's me cooking that food, homie. I can cook for real. I can cook, bro. No. She cooking for you. Man, who is this? See, because now you being disrespectful now. I thought that was Big Huntsville. You just joined 2 weeks ago. Bro, you say one more slick thing and I'm blocking you, homie. I'm not going to play with you. You know, this ain't Dante's show. I'm not going to tolerate that type of shit, man. Real talk. Big Willie. I don't know who okay, I see. Okay. Big Bill. I got you. All-biz, Abdullah Mason. I got you. You know what? Listen. I know a little bit about him, but I'll go do a little bit more studying on him. My bad, Big Bill. My bad. But yeah, I'll go check. I do know a little bit about him, but I haven't studied him like that for real. But you know what? When I get off this live, I'll go and check him out and do a little studying on him. You feel what I'm saying? I will. Hey, that's funny, Big Bill. Lamb chops and gravy, mashed potatoes. I'm cooking me some goddamn. I'm gonna do me some burgers, smothered burgers and garlic potatoes today. Matter of fact, garlic mashed potatoes. Once I get off this live, I'm gonna go cook that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go check him out. Yeah, I'm gonna check him out. Check him out. Yeah, I do. I love boxing, bro. That's what I do, bro. Go look at some of my videos, man, and look at some of the names that I done put out there, and go watch the whole fights on YouTube. You can go watch them, bro. I'm just mad that I didn't take my journey to YouTube back then, bro. I was putting it all on Facebook. I didn't know. I should have been putting it on YouTube. My channel would be way bigger, bro. But I'm gonna start doing more boxing stuff, and I'm gonna start doing more boxing reviews and post fights. Yeah, cause like right now I'm in hiatus. I'm not training anybody right now. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of my videos and stuff, I gotta pull them over from Facebook, and a lot of them I erased and stuff. And you know, I wasn't going live when I'm holding mitts for people. Man, I've been all over the dang United States, man. And if you go back and look at one of the videos that I put up my pictures, bro, I was around all champions. Matter of fact, Glenn Johnson cause you know I'm not a big picture guy, bro. I'm not a big picture guy, man. I'm not one to come up to you and say, hey, can I get a pic? That ain't me. You know what I'm saying? I hate I didn't do that though, because it would just grew my channel. Yeah, appreciate that, Big Bill. Hit that like button. It would have grown my channel. It would just add more credibility than what I'm saying right now. But I plan on it, because I was thinking about it, JG. I plan on going on back down to St. Pete. Because like I said, I still have connections with Keith Thurman. I still have connections with Jeff Lacey. I still can link up with Winky Wright. And even the gyms and the up-and-coming fighters that they got down there right now. I still can go down there into them gyms and holler at everybody. So that is my plan. That is my plan. And then I know a lot of the coaches that have the fighters right now. I know them. I built relationship with them, so it wouldn't be no problem. I just got to do it. You feel me? But yeah, Caleb Plant versus Resendez, Jamel Charlo versus LaManna is the next, that's the most notable fight coming up, and that's next weekend. Y'all check that out. And like I said, go look at the video I said, so y'all know I ain't just talking shit, because what I said is going to happen for sure with them guys, man. Because see, Caleb Plant, he ducked my fighter. They didn't want no parts of him. The guy that had ranked number 7 in the world, Kalai Jeech. And we fought Marcus Brown on PBC. That's the fight we had on NBC. And we lost that fight, but they cheated us the fuck out of that fight, man. First round, and that's my fault, because I saw his shoes needed to be tight, and I failed to tighten them. I failed to lace them up for him, Because he wanted to be cute and show out and look cute and fucking twist his goddamn ankle and fell down, and the referee started counting. Marcus Brown didn't even land a punch, and they started counting in the first round. That's how come we lost that fight. That damn knockdown in the first round, what was counted as a knockdown, but it wasn't a knockdown. Go watch the fight. You'll see what I'm saying. Of course, I know who Peter Quillen is. I don't know him personally like that. I don't know him personally. But yeah, I know who Peter Quillen is. Of course. Of course, I know who Peter Quillen is, man. Yeah, for sure. For sure. He was a top fighter. For sure. No joke. No joke. I'm trying to think, was I ever in a camp with Quillen? I'm trying to think. No, I don't know. I was never we never was in camp with Peter Quillen. No, never in camp with him. But yeah, I do know who you're talking about for sure, 100%. Yeah, I know boxing now. Yeah, apparently you do too. So come on with it. Y'all come on with the questions, y'all. Come on with the questions. Let me see. There's no other big fights really coming up. Well, I will say yeah, Biz knows. Yeah, for sure. Let me see. That Japanese kid, what's his name? And I can't even pronounce that dude's name. But the Japanese dude, it's a monster. Now listen. I wouldn't be surprised he loses next fight. Because he got dropped in his last fight. And I'm not saying because you get dropped, that means you're going to lose. But it just gives the other fighters the confidence that you can be beat. Okay, so food. So you know who Hot Rod is? Yeah. Yeah, that was atrocious, man. Hometown. Now, I want to speak on that for a second. Now, if you go watch that fight on YouTube, they changed how the ending happened. The ending has everybody clapping and the crowd's going wild. That ain't what happened in real life. As soon as they announced Marcus Brown the winner, and they ain't showing that on YouTube, but I was there obviously. I started thumbs down because I was the coach, so I'm in the ring. I'm thumbs down in that decision. The whole fucking crowd started yelling boo. I was like boo. The whole crowd followed me and was yelling boo. Hot Rod runs up on the apron. He hops up there. He throws his hands up like he won the fight. The whole fucking, I'm talking about, it was probably 16, 17,000 people in Barclays Center. They start going crazy. Yeah, right? Marcus Brown runs to the same corner. He hops up there. Man, his hometown booed him out of the stadium. Marcus Brown, hometown, booed his ass out of the stadium because everybody know that he lost that fucking fight. So that's bullshit what they show on YouTube, the crowd yelling and screaming for Marcus Brown. No, the fucker they didn't. They booed that man, and that's facts. That's true story. I was there. I ain't lying. Marcus Brown hung his gloves up? Or are you talking about Hot Rod? Oh, you talking about Quillen, okay. You talking about Quillen, okay. Yeah, but y'all go check out Hot Rod, bro. Fool, how the hell who are you, bro? How do you know that? But you called his name out and everything. This is his nickname, Hot Rod. Yeah. Rod Devoye Kalajis is his name. And then, matter of fact, we fought, like, y'all go look this fight up. And I can't spell it, so don't ask me. Rod Devoye Kalajis versus Travis Peterkin. That fight's on YouTube. You can find it. That was the very next fight after the Marcus Brown fight. So here's how I know that they'll reward you. Yeah, it gave him an 8 count, and he didn't slip. He twisted his damn ankle because his damn fucking shoes wasn't fucking tight. He trying to look cute for the camera, and he fucking twisted his goddamn ankle. And I blame myself because I normally catch shit like that, but I didn't catch it like that. It was too late. We were already in the fucking ring and all that shit, so I didn't catch it. But yeah, he gave him a fucking 8 count. That's how we end up losing that fucking fight, because it was a split decision. Marcus Brown won a split decision, and that knockdown is what gave Marcus Brown the fucking fight. But yeah, the very next fight was we main evented the Showtime boxing. They gave Rod and me, well, Rod, not me, but I'm the coach. So they gave us the very next fight, main event on Showtime. You can look it up. Hot Rod versus Travis Peterkin. Just type that in, y'all. Just type that in. you felt bad for Hot Rod and that Peter. How? We knocked that fool out. Listen, Crawford's gonna embarrass Canelo in that fight. He doesn't stop him, but he's gonna beat the snot out of him, bro. He's gonna make Canelo retire. That's how I feel about that. Crawford's gonna make Canelo retire in that fight. That'll be Canelo's last fight. What's up, Tina Marie? But yeah, you felt bad for Hot Rod in that Peter. Damn, Peterkin got dusted. Fool. I think we stopped him in the 6th round, 5th or 6th round. Peterkin got dropped and stopped. The referee waved the fight off. But yeah, Crawford beats Canelo, and he makes Canelo retire. That'll be Canelo's last fight. Yep, for sure. Tina Marie, how you doing? 5 years ago. Okay, you've been around for a minute. Okay, so now listen. My last fight with Hot Rod was a fight in Tampa that wasn't televised. Oh, you talking about Better Beef? You talking about Better Beef? I wasn't. Now listen. Listen. So I got into a motorcycle accident, and this is how nasty the business is, man. So the business is nasty. Like Lou DeBella, man, it's just a fucking dirty. It's a dirty game, bro. It's a dirty game. So when Hot Rod fought Better Beef, I wasn't his coach. I broke my I had a motorcycle. A damn lady, an old lady, pulled out in front of me in front of my motorcycle, bro, and I broke both my arms. So I was in cast, and because it's a business, Rod felt he couldn't wait because as soon as I broke my fucking arms, they offered him the Better Beef fight. And that's fucked up because I knew what they was doing. And so he went with another coach. He got a different management, and it changed him. Now, if you look at the Better Beef fight, versus how he looked against Travis Peterkin and Marcus Brown, Rod looked like two different fighters. Hot Rod looked like two different fighters. What's up, baby? That's my wifey, y'all. Barbara Clark. That's my wifey. Yeah, he looked like two different fighters. So yeah, I felt bad for him too, bro. And imagine me having to watch that. Because, like, he didn't do anything that we've always worked on. He didn't do anything on how he was taught to really fight. And he just was standing still. They had him trying to left hook with a fucking puncher. No, Rod's strength is boxing. That's what he should have kept doing, and he would have beat him. Now, if you go back and look at the first fight, well, the only fight with Better Beef, he hurt him in the 4th round. He hurt him, but he didn't have the stamina to finish. Like, my conditioning regimen is beyond most because I pay attention and I learn. And so what I did was I started thinking about, listen, how come those guys back in the olden days seemed to be in better condition, right? And they fought 15 rounds, not 12, but 15. And what I started doing was going back and looking at old videos and old tapes of training methods and conditioning methods. And I realized, I said, okay, what was the difference between those guys and these guys these days? The guys these days just box. That's their job. They go to the gym twice a day. They get up and do their road work, and that's it. Those guys back in those days, in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and 60s, they had jobs. So they had to go work a job for 8 hours and then boxing train. So I implemented that into my training regimen, meaning we're going to take, so of course, and you can't use rocks and stuff, but you can use medicine balls, different size medicine balls. So I would have a pile of medicine balls over there. Go pick those medicine balls, put them up over here. Pick them up, run. Put them right there. Now pick them up and put them up top, like you're putting them on the counter. So basically, I made guys work. So I changed up the training method. So Rod was in shape. So if you go back and look at the Marcus Brown fight, that dude was in better shape than Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown had more talent, but Rod was in better shape, and he had more skill. His skill set was different. When you look at the Travis Peterkin fight, Peterkin didn't even have no business in that damn fight. But I knew why they matched up Rod against Peterkin, because Peterkin beat Marcus Brown in the amateurs. Lots of people don't know that. That fight's on YouTube too. So I knew what they was doing, and we stopped Peterkin in the 5th round, and then Rod ended up having a hand injury that threw him off for a minute. But that's questionable. Like I said, as soon as I broke my arms in that motorcycle accident, they offered him the Better Beef fight, and he took the fight, and he didn't look that great. So yeah, the Hagler workout. As far as conditioning, yeah. I don't subscribe to Hagler's techniques, and I think Hagler could have been a way better fighter than what he was. But as far as him being in shape, yeah, unmatched. Matter of fact, really all those guys during that time, Hagler, Leonard, Hearns, Duran, which I feel like could have beaten Mayweather at 135. I think Roberto Duran beats Mayweather at 135 all day long. I think he does. Because if you look at now, they're gonna take now of the two most fights that Floyd had the worst. What you're gonna say? People are gonna say four, but I don't count the Zab Judah fight, and I don't count the Mosley fight. Those were like it is what it is. But the Castillo fight and the Maidana fights. Those two fights I'm gauging. He didn't lose them. He won those fights. But I think Duran, his style, his work ethic, and his conditioning would have beaten Floyd Mayweather. For sure. That, in my opinion. Yep. Yep. Yeah. But matter of fact, I'm the inventor of the Miami Beach workout. Y'all go look that up. I'll talk a story. I'll tell a story about that. I didn't get paid though. I get not one fucking coin from that. But I'm the inventor of the Miami Beach workout. Go look it up. I'm the inventor of that. I didn't get paid for it though. It is what it is. It's not nothing out the norm. It happens a lot. We have to go through that, especially our type of people. This type, Yeah, and y'all know what I'm talking about. It is what it is. We get things stolen from us all the time. We invent stuff and we don't get the credit for it. It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, y'all go check out Hot Rod. The what? What JG? The first what? What are you talking about now? I'm confused. The first Ford Sand Speed? What is that? That got to be a typo, JG. Rewrite that, bro. What time is it? Oh, that's the reason why my wife damn calling me. She probably called me. I answered the damn phone. I'm on my other phone. Well, you see why, baby, I ain't answer the phone. I'm on damn live, hell. You see. JG, rewrite that, bro. I don't know what the hell you talking about. I guess you talking about hand speed. Gotta be. The first Castillo fight was giving Floyd. Okay. Well, so I'll give my opinion until you rewrite what you're gonna write. The first Castillo fight, because they fought twice, and he fought Maidana twice. Oh, Zep. Yeah. The first 4 rounds, it was a problem. Meant to say Zab. The first 4 rounds was a problem. And see, here's what everybody knows, and that's why Zab has a conditioning problem. He don't be in shape. I know, baby. I know you called me because I'm out here. I don't got my other phone out here. That's why I answer you. But you see what I'm doing. But yeah, Zab is notorious for not being in shape. Okay, that's what you were saying. Yeah, exactly. The first 4 rounds, Zab was whooping on him. He was whipping on him. He couldn't deal with the hand speed. Exactly. You're right, JG. You absolutely right. And then he ran out of gas. Zab ran out of gas, and then Floyd got on his ass. I wasn't trying to rhyme. It just came out that way. That's why I know Roberto Duran would have whipped him at 135, man. I feel like, that's just an opinion. I feel like he would have whipped him because Duran had hand speed, conditioning, and he was tough. So I think Floyd loses to Roberto Duran at 135. And maybe even at 147. Maybe even at 147. Maybe even at 147, man. For sure. Yep. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Ask some questions up in the damn chat, man. Let's talk. Mention a fighter. Ask me what I know, or ask me what I think about this fighter, or upcoming fights. Come on. But let me speak on Wilder while y'all get it together. For what was it? About 2 years, Wilder was the Brown Bomber. Everybody thought he was the next best thing since Mike Tyson. And no, he wasn't. And I knew he was gonna have a problem eventually. And then he changes trainers and goes to this Malik Scott. Floyd would have stopped him. Yeah, of course, he would have stopped Zab. Yeah, of course. The low blow, yeah, changed that. Yeah, of course, because that made Zab get hyped up, and that adrenaline started flowing again and stuff. Yeah, for sure, for sure. But Deontay Wilder needs to get away from Deontay Scott, not Deontay Scott. I'm sorry, Malik Scott. Malik Scott ruined Deontay Wilder, bro. He ruined him. As a trainer, you don't try to change a fighter from what he does best. You try to work on the things he doesn't do well. Wilder was never going to be a boxer. No skills at all. He just got power. No skills at all. Listen, best thing you could have did for Wilder, and I agree with you on that, by the way. The best thing you could have did for Wilder was just work on his stamina and his balance. See, the problem about Wilder is he has no balance. That man, if he misses you with a punch, he all over the damn plate. He falling on his damn face if he misses a punch. And I blame that on the trainers during camp. During camp, I blame that on the trainers because you're not being honest with this man. Let me explain something to y'all about trainers. A lot of trainers in the boxing game. They are coattail riders. And most of them don't have no talent themselves. And they really just want to check. And so they know that all they got to do is stroke the ego of that fighter, and they're going to keep him around. Yeah, you're doing great, champ. If y'all know boxing and y'all been around boxing gyms, just listen to the trainer, how he talks. You're doing great, champ. Champ. If you hit him with this, champ, he's going to sleep, champ. You lying motherfucker. You finna get that man's brains beat out. Be honest with your fighter and tell him when he fucking up. And telling him if he don't do this, this is what's going to happen. That's what made Hot Rod who Hot Rod was until he left me. And it became something different. That's why he look at who he was before he fought Better Beef, and look how he was when he fought Better Beef. Different fighter. It's because I'm gonna be honest with him, and I got talent. So when I hold mitts, I'm putting him in situations where it's like a real fight. When you hit the mitt's coming right back at you, just like a real fight. I'm not going to sit there and turn my feet and go to the left and step to the left and then step back to the right and then step back to the left and throw a bullshit punch that's slow as fuck so you can get up under it so you can feel good about yourself. Bullshit. Because that fighter's not going to play with you come fight night. No, listen, you keep doing that, you finna get hurt. You keep doing this, you finna get hurt. So we're going to work on what you're weak at doing. Now, Malik Scott probably had the same attitude. Well, I'm going to teach Wilder to box. No, you can't teach Wilder to box. You need to work on his balance, man, and his conditioning. Focus on those things. It would have been different for Fury if Wilder's conditioning and balance would have been on point. It would have been, and his defense. Now, is he going to slip his head and with rhythm like Ali? No, he's not. Different fighter. Again, work on his balance. Get him to lower his center of gravity, which is balance. Every time he jabs, you throw a fucking punch back at him in the ring on mitts, right? As soon as your fighter throws a punch, you throw one right back. Now, because if you don't move out the way, you're getting hit with this damn mitt, with your little ass coach. So what you think gonna happen when you get into a fight with a man that weighs 40 pounds heavier than you? You throw a punch, he throws one right back and punch you in your fucking eye. Well, we saw the result of what happened. We saw the results of what happened, right? And we also can, as trainers, you got to stop lying to your damn fighter. Just because you hit a man, don't mean you finna knock that man out. Because what happens when you don't knock that man out and he gets his ass up? Now what? As we all saw in the first Wilder Fury fight. Shit. How he got up from that, I don't know. But he got up, and then the corner had no fucking answer for it. And Fury got up and beat the hell out of Wilder the rest of the round. That's why that round didn't go 10-8. It only went 10-9. Man, trainers got to stop pretending with fighters and be honest with fighters. Stop trying to teach them something they don't know. So like I said this on another live, I think. A steak is a steak until you put seasoning on the steak. And that's what makes the difference. A steak is a steak. Now, once you go to putting your seasoning on it, that's what's going to make that steak good or not good. Right? So that's how I feel about that, y'all. But yeah. Floyd, Zab was beating Floyd for those first 4 rounds, and then Zab got out of control. He lost. He ran out of gas. Mosley, Mosley socked Floyd with two. Bruh. Floyd. Now it should have been called. That first one should have been called a knockdown, though. It should have been called a knockdown because his glove clearly touched the ground. So that should have been called a knockdown. But the fact of the matter, he didn't fall. Yo, Floyd got a chin too now. Nobody talks about that. Floyd got a chin too now. Nobody talks about that. So not only is he smart, he has a good chin, right? And so we have to give credit to that. But his toughest two fights, in my opinion, well, the Mosley fight you got to put in there because he almost got dropped. And Maidana stunned the hell out of him too. He knocked the shit out of him. But he came back the second time and just demolished Castillo. Demolished him the second fight. Wasn't even close. Madonna embarrassed him the second fight. Wasn't even close. So yeah, Floyd is Floyd's Floyd. But he's not in my list though, man. As far as all-time greats, man. Defensively, yeah. But as a fighter, no. Because he just came along at the right time. I don't think Floyd could have beat Sugar Ray Leonard. Thomas Hearns, that's debatable because Thomas Hearns was just an aggressive fighter, and Floyd does well. Thomas Hearns is an aggressive technical fighter, and Floyd does well with that. So I think he beats Thomas Hearns, but I don't think he beats. I don't think he beats Hagler, and I don't think he beats Leonard at 147. Well, Hagler was 154. So no, I don't think he beats them at 154. He might have beat Leonard at 154, but I don't think he beats Leonard at 147. 141 and 147, I don't think he beats him at all. At all. Yep. That's my opinion on those boxers right now. Come on now, talk to me, y'all. Talk to me in the chat. Well, I'm about to get off of here, y'all. It was good talking to y'all. I'll probably come out back here in a couple days. I'm going to do some video. Like I said, maybe Sunday, maybe Monday, I'll do another boxing video. I'll start going live more and talking boxing. I appreciate y'all coming in. I appreciate y'all tapping in. I appreciate the questions. I appreciate y'all viewing. Y'all tap in with your boy. All biz all the time. Peace.